Welcome back to the channel. My name is Steven. I'm a pharmacist. I own 53 units of real estate now, and I help coach people to buy their first multifamily deal. So right now I'm currently under contract to buy a new construction burg in Huntsville, Alabama, where I'm buying it cash at a significant 20% discount. And what I'm hoping to do is engage some debt service coverage ratio lenders where I can do a 75% cash out refinance to pull out most of my money that I put in the deal without doing a single renovation, without dealing with a single contractor, and basically recycling my money, increasing the velocity of my money to go buy another property, right? So I literally told my property manager, who's also my realtor, hey, look it, if you can rent this property out for $22.50, I have a lender who will allow me to basically pull out 80% of my money. So I bought a deal at a 20% discount, right? So basically, if it's normally, let's say $300,000, I'm buying it at $80,000 or a 20% discount. So I'm all in for $240. And then basically, if I have a lender that allows me to do 80% cash out refinance with very little seasoning period, so, or 3-month seasoning period, then at that point, I can basically rent it out, do a cash out refinance, assuming that the debt service coverage ratio is met. So typically they want a, 1.05 or a 1.15, something like that. So you basically rent it out, you do the refinance, pull out your money, close in about 30 to 45 days because they're a low doc lender. They just want to see my credit score. They want to see some basic documents, and then we call it a day, right? Like a very, very easy loan process that we're doing. And then basically I own this asset, very little of my money in the deal, right? Like I think at most I calculated it, assuming, so I think it's going to, so I bought it for $256. I think it's going to appraise. So I'm all in cash for $256. I think it's going to appraise around $315, do 75% value of that minus what I have in. I think I end up leaving around $18,000 to $20,000 of my own money in the deal. So I basically got an asset for $20,000 down. That's brand new construction. And despite a 7% interest rate, I'm still able to cash flow $100-$150 a month, depending on my rent. If it's higher rents, I might get $200-$250. But on conservative low-end rents, I'm getting $100-$150 a month in positive cash flow, which chalk that up to reserves for CapEx, maintenance, repairs, whatever. But repairs should be minimal because it's a new build property. And then from there, just really, really trying to see how much money am I leaving the deal, pull it out, and then pull out my money again. And then there's another good deal. I'll buy another good deal, right? So I can wait till the quarter end, which is in November of 2025. But if there's a good deal going on, I can literally, once I close in like 15 days, I could probably cash out refinance in another 30 to 45 days. So I can literally close October 15th, and let's just call it mid to end of September, I could have all my money back to go buy another deal, right? So if I were to buy another deal, I just would make sure that the closing date is pushed further, right? So that I'm not pressured. So I'd buy a property that's way in the future so that, I'm not feeling pressured to get my money back. And once I get my money back, I buy another one. And then once the end of year sale, I go buy another one, right? So it's like a rinse and repeat. So I'm increasing the velocity of my money. And each of these deals that I'm buying, I'm making $60,000 instant equity. I have no to like $20,000 of my own money in the deal. I'm able to cash flow $100, $150 a month. Just call it reserve, so call it break even. And I'm able to do this like at rapid scale without any renovations, right? I can do this literally every 2 months if I wanted to. So I could buy 6 a year, assuming there's good enough deals every time to like buy it, rent it, refinance it, buy it, rent it, refinance it. The limiting step would be like getting a lease for the property and then refinancing it and then moving on, right? And you churn that wheel. And I start to own a lot of rentals, own a lot of rentals, right? And my realtor / property manager would be very happy with me. So it's really interesting. But like why I say that is because like for me, what I learned was that like what gets me the most excited about buying real estate is just making the deal work and then seeing it go through. So like I think for me, I was just very excited trying to negotiate the price. So like obviously it was end of the quarter sale. So it was already discounted $20,000. After that, it was just like, hey, look, if I pay you all cash, how much of a discount are you willing to give me? And then their like director said, I'll give you like up to like at first it was like 35,000, and then I just said, hey, like I countered it, and they're like, you know what, we'll just give you another $3,000, call it a day, right? So they gave me $38,000 off. So I ran my numbers and I said, you know what, I'm making $60,000 in instant equity day one, because new construction tends to appraise over what it sells for. So if it sells for $315, typically it'll appraise for like a little bit more than that. I'll do a 75% cash out refinance, leave a little bit of money in the deal, rent it out, and then assuming I rent it out fast, assuming that the lender can refinance it in 30 to 45 days with no seasoning, which I have like convo loans will do that. I can rinse and repeat my money to do that. So for me, I'm most excited about making the deal, buying the deal right, and then do exit strategy, which is the refinance. So those get me the most pumped up. Like it was super exciting to like engage different lenders and share my story and see who fits my need the most. And then now I have like 5 lenders, and I have like a spreadsheet saying, lender 1 can do this, lender 2 can do this, lender 3 can do this, lender 4 can do this, lender 5. So, from there I have my list of ones that I want to work with. And then based on the fees, based on how fast they operate, once I find that lender, I just rinse and repeat with that lender, right? So now when I do my second new construction BRRRR, I have the same game plan. I know exactly how much it is, discount for cash, ends up being about 10 to 15% discount buying cash. And hopefully the property's already discounted like, 5 to 10% on top of that. And then plus I'm getting another 10 to 15% discount by buying cash. And then I know what the rents are going to be in the market because of my property manager, because she says, oh, I rented one in that same community for this much. And then I use the same lender. They have my documents. They know who I am. And then I literally engage, steadily for my home insurance quotes. So I just made it online. They give me quotes. I own multiple policies with them because they help save me money. So they give me a multi-policy discount. And then from there, I literally just rinse and repeat that, right? So it's the same system over and over again. And it's just cycling every 2 months or 3 months, right? So that's sustainable, right? Like it's literally no effort. Right? Like right now we have to move our money around, so it's a little bit stressful, but eventually once the money's in one account, we wire the money, and then we get wired the money back in the same account, and then we wire the money again to buy another one, and the money gets back. I have the same property manager, same realtor. I'll use Lennar because they own multiple different communities. Like I'm not going to buy like all brand new builds in the same community. I'll have one in each community to diversify myself. And then, from there, pretty much I would use the same, steadily for the same insurance quotes. I think they work of a lender, so it's easy for me to get insured through them. And then, I'll use the same lender, and they know me, they know my profile. So we just keep on churning these properties out, right? And this is what's creating a system. This is how you scale, and it's gonna be less and less effort. So the next time I buy a deal, like the only deal making is buying it, but I kind of know now they give me a 10 to 50% discount. It's just how low are they willing to go for me, right? And then I'm gonna say, hey, I'm a repeat buyer. Like, help me out. I'll buy more, right? I already bought one here. Help me out again. I'll buy more, right? So, that's really what I've been looking for, right? That's really what I've been looking for, is having a system and rinse and repeat. And like I said, this is like super passive, right? Versus if I do my apartments, it's more active, right? When I send out my mailers, it's very active. The owners call me, very active. I have to negotiate the seller and go back and forth, very active. I have to find a lender, very active, right? And then I have to renovate the property, right? Once I close and transfer utilities and do all this stuff and, manage the contractor. So it's very, very active. So like in this point in my career, like I want something that, as I start to have plan for kids, I want something that's like scalable, sustainable, consistent, and I can do it long term, right? And if this system works, like I can literally own like 20 of these like homes in Huntsville, Alabama, and literally have one property manager managing it, and literally it's all new construction. And maybe over 10 to 15 years, maybe the value will double and I can sell half my portfolio. So let's say I get to 20, I sell half, use a half to pay off the other 10, and I own 10 free and clear that rent, that gross maybe $25K per month, right? With very minimal expenses. And then at that point, it's like, wow, you just did that with like little to no effort. So that's what I'm trying to do right now is like, yes, I went through my grind of, buying apartments, stabilizing it, and then like doubling the value, and now I'm cash flowing a lot, but that required a lot of my time, effort, and stress. But in this period, I just want to continue doing this. And like I said, when I'm ready, let's say I step away from my W-2 and I'm ready to buy apartments again, or I get a good apartment deal that I can't pass up, of course I'll buy it, right? I'm not gonna say no to a good deal. But right now, I can still focus on that and then still continue to buy my, new construction burrs, because it's just such little effort, right? It's such little effort for me to buy these new construction burrs over and over and over and over and over again. So that's really, what it is. It's just rinsing and repeating over and over and over and over again with that strategy. So that's kind of like what I'm planning to do. Is my long-term game. Is just do exactly that. Just find something that's you can do for a long period of time that's not going to burn you out. So I'd say, like, there's no point in me creating a new system in a different market when I can just churn this deal. And every time I buy one of these properties, I make $60,000 instant equity. So if I get 4 a year, that's $250K of net worth increased. That's more than I'm making my W-2 job, right? So every year, my net worth will increase by like $250K. Like doing not much work, and then you compound that over time. That's when it starts to get more and more powerful. So like I said, this is like really mind blowing for me. Like I just want to buy. Like if this works really well, like I might just the moment I close, I'm just gonna cash out, refinance it within like 30 days of closing, and by mid-September, I'll be like, hey, what's the next deal? Buy another one, close, and then by the end of the year say, hey, I want another deal. You know what I mean? So like that's what's kind of crazy about this, and the strategy that we've been doing. So it's very, very crazy. So like I said, once again, like throughout this whole process, what gets me the most pumped up is like negotiating the buy and then doing the exit strategy. But now if I systemize my exit strategy with the same lender of Convoy Home Loans, if they're the best ones, it's just doing the buy. But working with Lennar, it's very systematized, because they just, the price they give you is the price they give you. They're not as negotiable unless I'm buying like 2 or 3. But I don't have that liquid capital to buy 2 or 3, not yet, right? Unless I get money from my mobile home park. And then at that point, I have a lot more capital where I can buy 2 or 3 of these. But for me, I like to do one at a time, because I want to make sure that one is rented out, it's good, before I buy my next one, right? If it's taking me 6 months to rent out this property, then I'm just gonna sit on that leave the cash there until it's rented out. Once it's rented out, then I'll pull out my money and then buy another one, right? So but other than that, like you said, like this might get to the point for me where like it just becomes so boring and systematic that you're just buying it. But that's when you build a lot of wealth. Like when investing feels slow, boring, and systematic, that's when you master it, and that's when you're making so much money from it. Like I can imagine this process being automated for me, like I said, where I'm buying 4 or 5 of these a year with instant equity, where I'm making $250,000 to $300,000 a year just doing this on autopilot, right? And that's not including principal pay down. That's not including market appreciation, right? And if interest rates lower, I can do a refinance and lower my rate, right? And then make even more cash flow now. And once you have more cash flow, then you can use that cash flow to pay off your properties faster if you want to, right? So that's the beautiful thing about real estate. And that's how it starts to compound and snowball. So, like I kind of love the fact that interest rates are high, because I have this unfair advantage in Huntsville, Alabama, where I can buy at a price where it doesn't matter. I'm going all cash at a discount. And because it's such a low loan amount, interest rates don't affect it as much. And primary residence home buyers, they have a hard time qualifying, because, it's easy to qualify when your interest rate's 3%, whereas now it's 7.8%. It's hard to qualify. So for me, I qualify based on the income of the property. So like there's less competition. So it actually benefits me to have high interest rates, right? I saw this on one renter all the time. He was like, he wants interest rates to be 10% because it weeds out a lot of buyers. It weeds out a lot of primary residence buyers. So it gives more experienced investors time to go in and just swoop these deals in. So this is the golden window that I have. So I bought real estate when interest rates were low. Now I'm buying when interest rates are high. I bought when interest rates were like 3%. Now I'm buying when it's like 7.6%, which is like more than double. And I'm making deals work either way. And how are deals working? It's in the buy. You're buying it right? I'm buying under market value by buying cash. I'm buying under market value by going off market. I'm buying under market value by making an offer that makes sense for me and only me, right? That's how you make money. You make money in the buy. And then you want to see what your exit strategy is. So for me, in my deal, this exit strategy is very important because I don't want my money trapped in there. So I know that I can pull my money out. I have multiple lenders that will approve it and it looks good. So you have to focus on the exit strategy too, right? So you have to buy right and then focus on your exit strategy to be successful. Right. So like I said, I sound excited now, but like this, if this literally works and it's like a self-sustaining system. I just need to find good deals and you know what the rents are, then I'll buy it. It would just be so fast. Like my realtor will know what I want. Lennar consultant will know what I want. And I just go boom, 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 rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, and get 4 or 5 rentals a year of like little of my money in the deal. Right. So that's really like the power of, the strategy. So that's why I'm like, wow, like it's keeping me motivated to like, work and to make money and to find these good deals. So, but like I said, ultimately it feels very boring and the same afterwards. So anyways, just wanted to share that like when it starts feeling boring, that's when you need to double down. That's when you need to go all in. That's when you need to continue doing it and distract yourself with something else, right? That's why I do YouTube. YouTube is a way for me to distract myself from doing something stupid and shiny object syndrome with real estate. I want real estate just do its thing, make a lot of money so that I can just create content, right? And then teach people, right? So I'm trying to shift my mindset towards that way where like, yes, I don't make much from YouTube. Yes, I don't make much from coaching and mentorship. I make all my money from real estate, my W-2. But this is a distraction for me and a passion for me. And if YouTube blows up, great. If not, that's okay. I'm making $60,000 per property, then I could buy 4 of these a year, right? Potentially. So, obviously, if I can pull my money out, I can keep on going. But if I have to leave, $20,000 each time, then obviously each time I do it, it gets harder and harder to pull your money out for there. So, anyways, that's why I said you have to buy right, and then hopefully, it appraises well, and hopefully the rents get there, right? So anyways, hopefully you found value from this video. Thanks for listening. Let me know if you have any questions. If you want one-on-one coaching, you want mentorship, you want courses, you want to send me an email, click on my link tree down below. It's in the description. From there, you can see all those links. Otherwise, please like, comment, subscribe, and hope to see you in the next one. Thank you so much.